Shalom. Tonight we're reading Numbers chapter 29. And in the 7th month of the first of the month you shall have a Kadesh gathering. You do no servile work. It is a Yom Torah for you. And you shall prepare a burnt offering as a sweet fragrance to Yahu'ah. 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 parts of it, 3/10 parts for the bull, 2/10 parts for the ram, 1/10 for each part of the 7 lambs. And 1 male goat, as a sin offering to make atonement for you. Besides the burnt offering with its grain offering for the new month, the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings according to their right rulings, as a sweet fragrance, an offering made by fire to Yahu'ah. And on the 10th of this 7th month you have a Kadesh gathering, and you shall afflict your beings, and you do no work. And you shall bring near a burnt offering to Yahu'ah, a sweet fragrance, 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old. Perfect ones they are for you. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 parts for the bull, 2/10 parts for the 1 ram, 1/10 part for each of the 7 lambs, 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the sin offering for atonement, the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month you have a Kadesh gathering. You do no servile work, and you shall celebrate a festival to Yahuwah 7 days. And you shall bring near a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahuwah. 13 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones they are. And their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 parts for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 parts for each of the 2 rams, and 1/10 part for each of the 14 lambs. And 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. Then on the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And let their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls and for the rams and for the lambs by their number according to the right rulings. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. Then on the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. Then on the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. Then on the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones. And their grain offering and their drink offering for the bulls, the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. Then on the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, the rams, and for the lambs by their number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day you have an assembly, you do no servile work. And you shall bring near a burnt offering to an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahu'ah. 1 bull, 1 ram, 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones. Their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram, and for the lambs, by the number according to the right ruling. And 1 goat as a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offerings, its grain offering, and its drink offering. These you prepare to Yahu'ah at your appointed times, besides your vowed offerings, in your voluntary offerings, as your burnt offerings, in your grain offerings, and your drink offerings, for your peace offerings. And Moshe spoke to the children of Yisrael according to all Yahu'ah had commanded Moshe. Chapter 30. And Moshe spoke to the heads of the tribes according to the children of Yisrael, saying, This is the word which Yahu'ah has commanded. When a man vows a vow to Yahu'ah, or swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he does not break his word, he does according to all that comes out of his mouth. Or if a woman vows a vow to Yahu'ah, and binds herself by some agreement while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she has bound herself, and her father has kept silent towards her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself stands. But if her father forbids her on the day that he hears, then none of her vows nor her agreements by which she has bound herself stand, and Yahu'ah pardons her, because her father has forbidden her. But if she at all belongs to a husband, while bound by her vows, or by a rash utterance from her lips by which she bound herself, and her husband hears it, and he has kept silent towards her on the day that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her agreements by which she bound herself do stand. But if her husband forbids her on the day that he hears it, then he has nullified her vow which she vowed, and the rash utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and Yahu'ah pardons her. But any vow of a widow or a divorced woman by which she has bound herself stands against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound herself by an agreement with an oath, and her husband heard it, and has kept silent towards her, and did not forbid her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement by which she bound herself stands. And if her husband clearly nullified them on the day he has heard them, then whatever came from her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the agreement binding her, it does not stand. Her husband has nullified them, and Yahu'ah pardons her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict her being, let her husband confirm it, or let her husband nullify it. But if her husband is altogether silent at her from day to day, then he confirms all her vows, or all the agreements that bind her. He confirms them, because he kept silent towards her on the day that he heard. But if he nullifies them after he has heard, then he shall bear her crookedness. These are the laws which Yahu'ah commanded Moshe between a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter in her youth in the father's house. Chapter 31. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Take vengeance for the children of Yisrael on the Midianites. After that you are to be gathered to your people. And Moshe spoke to the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves for the campaign, and let them go against the Midianites to take vengeance for Yahuwah on Midian. Send 1,000 from each tribe of all the tribes of Yisrael for the campaign. So there were supplied from the tribes of Yisrael 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed ones for the campaign. And Moshe sent them on the campaign 1,000 from each tribe, them and Phinehas, son of Eleazar the Kohan, on the campaign, with the Kadosh utensils and the trumpets for sounding in his hand. And they fought against the Midianites as Yahuwah commanded Moshe, and slew all the males. And they slew the sovereigns of Midian with the rest of those who were pierced. Ui and Requem and Sur and Hur and Reba, and the 5 sovereigns of Midian. And they slew Balaam, son of Beor, with the sword. And the sons of Yisrael took all the women of Midian captive with their little ones, and took as spoils all their livestock and all their possessions. And they burned with fire all the cities where they dwelt, and all their settlements. And they took all the spoil and all the booty, both of man and beast. And they brought the captives and the booty and the spoil to Moshe, and to Eleazar the Kohan, and to the congregation of the children of Yisrael, to the camp in the desert plains of Moab, by the Yarden of Yarrow. And Moshe and Eleazar the Kohan and all the leaders of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. But Moshe was wroth with the officers of the army, with the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds who had come from the campaign. And Moshe said to them, Have you kept all the women alive? Look, they are the ones who caused the children of Yisrael through the word of Balaam to trespass against Yahuwah in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of Yahuwah. And now slay every male among the little ones, and every woman who has known a man by lying with a man you shall slay. And keep alive for yourselves all the female children who have not known a man by lying with a man. And you camp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has slain any being, and whoever has touched any slain, cleanse yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day, on the 7th, and on the 7th day. And cleanse every garment and every object of leather, and whatever is made of goat's hair, and every object of wood. And Eleazar the Kohan said to the men of the campaign who went to the battle, This is the law of the Torah which Yahuwah commanded Moshe. Only the gold and the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, every object that passes through fire, you put through the fire, and it shall be clean. Only let it be cleansed with the water for uncleanness, and whatever does not pass through fire, you pass through water. And you shall wash your garments on the 7th day, and be clean, and afterwards come into the camp. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Count up the plunder that was taken of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the Kohan, and the heads of the fathers of the congregation. And you shall divide the plunder into 2 parts, between those who took part in the battle, who went out of the campaign, and all the congregation. And put aside a levy for Yahuwah on the men of battle who went out on the campaign, 1 out of every 500 of man, and of the cattle, and of the donkeys, and of the sheep. Take it from their half, and give it to Eleazar the Kohan as a contribution to Yahuwah. And from the children of Yisrael's half, you shall take up 1 of every 50 of man, and of cattle, of donkeys, and of the sheep, all of the livestock, and give them to the Levites, guarding the duty of the Mishkan of Yahuwah. And Moshe and Eleazar the Kohan did as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And the booty remaining from the plunder which the people of the campaign had taken was 675,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 human beings in all, of women who had not known a man by lying with a man. And the half the portion for those who went out on the campaign was in number 337,500 sheep. And the levy unto Yahuwah of the sheep was 675. And the cattle were 36,000, of which the levy unto Yahuwah was 72. And the donkeys were 30,500, of which the levy unto Yahuwah was 61. And the human beings were 16,000, of which the levy unto Yahuwah was 32 beings. So Moshe gave the levy, which was the contribution unto Yahuwah, to Eleazar the Kohan, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And from the children of Yisrael's half, which Moshe divided from the men who campaigned, now the half belongs to the congregation, was 337,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 human beings. Then Moshe took from the children of Yeshua's half, 1 out of every 50, drawn from man and beast, and gave them to the Levites, who guarded the duty of the Mishkan of Yahuwah, as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. And the officers who were over thousands of the campaign, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, came near to Moshe. And they said to Moshe, Your servants have taken a count of the fighting men under our command, and not a man of us is missing. So we have brought an offering for Yahuwah, what every man found of ornaments of gold, armlets and bracelets, and signet rings, and earrings, and necklaces, to make ornament for ourselves before Yahuwah. And Moshe and Eleazar the Kohan received the gold from them, all the fashioned ornaments, and all the gold of the offering that they presented to Yahuwah from the commanders of thousands of commanders upon hundreds was 16,750 shekels. The men of the campaign had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moshe and Eleazar the Kohan received the gold from the campaign of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of appointment as a remembrance for the children of Yisrael before Yahuwah. Chapter 32. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had much livestock, a large number, and they saw the land of Yazer in the land of Gilead, and saw that the place was a place for livestock. So the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moshe, and to Eleazar the Kohan, and to the leaders of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, and Dibon, and Yazer, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Ele, and Sabam, and Nebu, and Beon, the land which Yahu'ah had smitten before the congregation of Yisrael is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. And they said, If we have found favor in your eyes, let this land be given to your servants as a possession, and do not let us pass over the Yarden. And Moshe said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Are your brothers to go into the battle while you yourselves sit here? Now why do you discourage the heart of the children of Yisrael from passing over into the land which Yahuwah has given them? Thus your fathers did when I sent them away from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the Wadi Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Yisrael, so that they did not go into the land which Yahuwah had given them. Then the displeasure of Yahuwah burned on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, Not one of the men who came up from Mishrim, from 20 years old and above, is to see the land of which I swore to Abraham, Ishak, and Jacob, because they did not follow me completely. Except Caleb, son of Yefuneh, the Quiznite, and Yahusha, son of Nun, for they have followed Yahuwah completely. So the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against Yisrael, and he made them wander in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the eyes of Yahuwah was destroyed. And see, you have risen in your father's place, an increase of men, sinners, to add still more the burning displeasure of Yahuwah against Yisrael. For if you turn away from following him, he shall once again leave them in the wilderness, and you shall destroy all these people. Then they came near to him and said, Let us build sheep enclosures here for our livestock, and cities for our little ones. But let us ourselves be armed, hastening before the children of Yisrael until we have brought them to their place. And our little ones shall dwell in the walled cities, because of the inhabitants of the land. We shall not return to our homes until every one of the children of Yisrael has received his inheritance. For we shall not inherit with them on the other side of the Yarden and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of Yarden. And Moshe said to them, If you make this promise, if you arm yourselves before Yahuwah for battle, and all your armed ones pass over the Yarden before Yahuwah until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land has been subdued before Yahuwah, then afterward you shall return and be guiltless before Yahuwah and before Yisrael, and this land shall be your possession before Yahuwah. But if you do not do so, then see, you shall sin against Yahuwah, and know your sin is going to find you out. Build cities for your little ones and enclosures for your sheep, and do what you have promised. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moshe, saying, Your servants are going to do as my master commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock are going to be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants are passing over, every armed one of the army, before Yahuwah to battle, as my master says. And Moshe gave command concerning them to Eleazar the Kohan, to Yahusha, son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Yisrael. And Moshe said to them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben pass over the Jordan with you, every man armed for battle before Yahu'ah, and the land has been subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead as a possession. But if they do not pass over armed with you, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as Yahu'ah has said to your servants, so we do. We ourselves are passing over armed before Yahu'ah into the land of Canaan, but the possession of our inheritance remains with us beyond the Jordan. So Moshe gave to the children of Gad, to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the reign of Sihon, sovereign of the Amorites, and the reign of Og, sovereign of Bashan, the land with its cities within the borders, the cities of the land round about. And the children of Gad built Daban and Ataroth and Aurora, and Ataroth, Shophon, and Yazer, and Yobata, and Beth Nimah, and Beta and Haran, walled cities, and enclosures for sheep. And the children of Reuben had Heshbon, and Eliath, and Kilithaim, Nebu, and Baal Meon, the names being changed, and Shema, and they gave other names to the cities which they built. And the sons of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it and disposed the Amorites who were in it. So Moshe gave Gilead to Machir, son of Manasseh, and he dwelt in it. And Yair, son of Manasseh, went and took the small towns and called them Hawoth, Yair, and Nabah went and took Kenneth and its villages, and he called it Nabah after his own name.